Chris, now that the World Cup is in 3 weeks, what sort of a dent does this mean to the confidence levels of the players after having qualified for the final, but this sort of performance heading into a World Cup? And as the coaching unit, what sort of things can you all do to just forget about this thing?
I think first of all, we played some very good cricket to get to the final. We had to fight very hard to get here. So for me, it was an achievement in itself to be in the final. Clearly, to lose in the manner that we have there is very disappointing and something that will hurt all the players, and it's certainly hurting the coaching staff as well. I think we're going to have to rebuild. We're going to have to put the confidence back into the players. Obviously, we'll give them a little bit of a break now, go home, refresh the brain, get back together and start to rebuild from where we left off, really. But you know what, sometimes a little bit of kick up the rear end before you go into a big tournament is not the worst thing either. And maybe this is just a bit of a wake-up call that actually for us to compete against people like India, Australia, New Zealand, those type of guys, we have to be on the top of our game and we have to make sure that we turn up consistently all the time. So, there may be something that we can use out of this to help motivate us through that World Cup as well.
Chris, obviously it's been a bit of a long tournament with a bit of trouble at the IPL before that as well. Was there any sense of fatigue in today's performance at all?
I don't think there's any sense of fatigue in this performance. I think the one thing we have done, and it's been widely spoken about, is obviously we've come into this tournament depleted on bowlers. We have a number of injuries from the bowling department. That's an excuse we can't use in the batting department, so I'm not even going to go there. But it's hard. The schedule is tough, but I'm sure if you speak to most coaches around the world, most players around the world, the schedule for international cricket at the moment is tough as well. So it's something that we have to learn to live with and something we have to deal with.
Chris, so this is the third time Sri Lanka was dismissed for a score above, so below 100. So it has happened thrice this year. So is it a concern for you going forward?
It is. We have to find consistency within that top 7, really. We backed all the way down to 7. We have experience through there as well. So it is a concern, and it's certainly something we have to address, and it's something we will talk about. Not only the coaching staff but the players as well. I would encourage them to face into the problem head on, and we have to do something about it. It's as simple as that. We cannot let this happen.
Please, before the World Cup, what type of positives you can see during this World Cup, this Asia Cup, because now we ended up with runners-up. What are positives during this tournament?
Yeah, if we take today out of the equation, we've seen 2 youngsters really put their hands up in Walalagi and Patarana. We've seen 2 of them really emerge onto the world stage there. It shows what we can do. Sadira's played some good knocks. We've seen Mendes come back into form. So there has been some good individual performances in there, some good team performances. But clearly, the consistency is a thing that we need to bring into our game and make sure that we do that day in, day out. And then we can go toe-to-toe with teams like India.
Chris, you briefly alluded to how proud you are of the fact that you got to the final. You're going to have a lot of your key bowlers coming back. How much does that excite you that you have a full complement to pick from going into the World Cup?
Yeah, it always excites me. When you've got people like Wanindu coming back who are match winners, we've got people with pace coming back that will complement the guys that we have here as well. So for me, it's the bowling attack, it's very exciting. And I think there is wicket-taking options all the way through it. So for me, that's a huge positive. Like I say, it's just consistency in scoring the runs now, that we have to do that. And I think once we get that consistency, we'll find that we compete more with the top teams on a more regular basis. Because we do push teams close, regularly. We've just got to make sure that we do it more consistently now.
Chris, you spoke about Dasun Sanaka, coming back to form. There's been a concern, how are you going to address that?
Yeah, clearly, Dasun, he works so hard on his game. And as we all know, he's a great man. So from my point of view, it's again trying to make sure that we put confidence into him, we blow his tyres up, and he continues to train hard and work hard, and hopefully we can turn that corner with him. But there's no other thing, we just need to keep working hard really and try and get that confidence into him. One score and he'll be away. We know what he's capable of, we've seen it before. He can be a very destructive batsman. And we've seen in this tournament as well, he's more than a useful bowler as well. So for me, he's 1 score away from flying again. But it's obviously there's some hard work to do there as well.
Chris, even Rohit Sharma just a few minutes ago said the pitches here have been very challenging. What was the thought process behind winning the toss and batting first, opting to bat first?
We're trying to make the best use of the wicket, to be honest. And I mean, India would have batted first as well. I mean, they've said that openly. So I mean, it did do a little bit after that rain break. We found that it seemed and maybe swung a little bit more. But equally, we've seen once the lights come on here, if you're batting second, there's a very, very tough 15 overs there. I mean, certainly the first power play is tough when that ball is swinging around. So we want to try and make the best use of the wicket while we could, really. Put a competitive score on the board. And then we felt we had the ball in the tap that could challenge India again. Unfortunately, we didn't get to that point.
Chris, with Guanidu returning after injury, and what Velarage has been doing in this tournament, Deekshan also in the midst, so you have I think a good headache going into the World Cup. Your thoughts on that?
I think you're absolutely right. I think healthy competition within the group is always good. I think it helps push us to higher levels and helps keeps the players on their toes and keeps pushing them to get better and better. From a coach's point of view, it's a great headache. Much better than the alternative where you're looking around for people. And I think it just shows the depth that we have, especially in the spin department. They obviously one is an orthodox left armour, but the other two, there's a little bit of magic about them as well. So I think we cover all bases in that department. So that's exciting.
Waiting for 2 more questions.
Chris, with Sharmika's kind of extended run of poor batting form, obviously that changes things inside a dressing room, inside a team. Can you just talk a little bit through the challenges of kind of coaching a team where kind of you have these kinds of dynamics going on?
What do you mean with Dasan struggling for a few runs?
The captain not being able to.
Okay, well, I mean, it's obviously there's more to being a captain than just the runs you score as well. And I think one thing that Dasan is very good at is he's got the respect of a dressing room. He understands the players, he shows the players a lot of love, and he gives them a lot of support as well. So for me, it's returning that love and that support as well to him. The fact that we've got to make sure that we're there for him, we help him work hard, and we try and turn the corner with him. But he's not on his own in there. He's got a lot of support in that dressing room.
You're watching the Lifetraveler channel.